Good evening, Internet. My name is Michael, and I'm here to review some stuff for you. After having taken a look at the Oceans trilogy, I've decided to take a look at another trilogy. This one about spies. That's right, the Bourne trilogy. So we're going to start things off with the Bourne Identity. Now, if you've never seen this movie, let me read the back so you can get a general idea. Found with 2 bullets in his back, Jason Bourne discovers he has the skills of a very dangerous man and no memory of his violent past. Racing to unlock the secret of his own identity, he discovers the deadly truth. He's an elite government agent, a $30 million weapon the government no longer trusts. Now this top operative is the government's #1 target in a supercharged, thrill-o-minute spectacular loaded with non-stop action. So that's kind of a brief summary of the movie. Not a very good one, but I'll get into what the movie's actually about. Basically, it starts off, Jason Bourne is floating in the Mediterranean Sea in a storm with two gunshot wounds in his back. He's saved by some fishermen, and their doctor on board saves his life, and he has Jason Bourne has no memory of who he is or what he's done. However, he starts finding out that he has a very interesting skill set. He's able to speak several languages, and when he's tracking down, trying to find out who he is from some clues that was on his body when they found him, he goes to Switzerland, and he attacks a couple of police officers who were trying to arrest him. And he finds out that he's really good at fighting. And from there, things just escalate further and further and further. Basically, it turns out that he's an assassin for the government, and he doesn't know it anymore because he has amnesia. And throughout the entire movie, he's trying to figure out who he is and why the government's trying to kill him. Actually, just trying to figure out who's trying to kill him because he doesn't know. Again, amnesia. Along the way, he meets a girl named Marie, who he pays a great deal. He pays her $20,000 to drive him to Paris so he can find out where his apartment is and figure out who the heck he is. They hook up partway through the movie, and eventually he finds out that he's an assassin. Then they kind of break up, and she goes her own separate way near the end. And then near the end of the movie, he finally meets the person in charge of the project that he was a part of. They call it Operation Treadstone. And he finally has a flashback, and he finds out why he lost his memory. He doesn't regain his whole memory, but at that point, he doesn't really care anymore. He doesn't like who he was, and he wants to be someone new. So he basically tells the government to go screw with themselves and disappears into the mist. At the very end of the movie, he reunites with the woman, and it kind of hints that they'll have a relationship. And the Operation Treadstone is covered up by the government, and it basically makes it out that that would be the end of the story. Obviously, it isn't because it's part of a trilogy, but for the first movie, it's a pretty good self-contained story. Aside from the story itself, which is very good, this is a really good action movie. It has a lot of great fight scenes, some good shootouts. There's also a really fun car chase where he's in this little POS car, driving the wrong way down a one-way street while being chased by cops in Paris. All in all, this is just a really, really good movie. I give it a 5, and I highly recommend you watch it. Well, anyway, that's all we have for this time. And stay tuned next time where we'll take a look at the second Bourne movie, and we'll see if it holds up to the first.